Good morning. So you need to turn to page 10 in your packet. And today we're going to be reading about the Iditarod, which is an actual race that takes place in Alaska. So you're going to be looking at pages 10, 11, and 12 in your packet. Please do not write in these packets. This is just a class set. So what is the Iditarod? If you look at the pictures below, you can kind of start to get an idea of what this is. So the Iditarod is a race that takes place in Alaska. It's actually a sled race, and instead of using horses for the sleds, they actually use huskies. They actually use dogs in order to pull the sleds, which is why it takes so many of them to do. And it takes place in Alaska, which is this state. If you'll notice that Alaska is not part of the continental United States, that means that it is not attached to the United States by land, but it is still considered a United States state, so just not part of the continental United States. So this is a map of one of the race routes, and it does change every year. And you can see that it goes all the way across the state of Alaska. It's around 979 total miles. So it's a very long race. It takes weeks and weeks to complete. And it is very hazardous because, as you can see from the pictures, there's deep snow. And if you know anything about Alaska, it's very remote. There's not like Wi-Fi everywhere. There's not city roads or anything like that. So it is a very challenging race for sure. Things to think about before you read the article. The Iditarod is surrounded by controversy because animal lovers feel like this is animal cruelty. And then the Iditarod celebrates a tradition that starts back to when people had to travel long distances on sleds in order to get supplies. So that's why the Iditarod was even started, was just to kind of celebrate how back in the day, before planes and trains and all of those things, this is how people in Alaska got supplies. All right, so turn to page 10. I'm going to keep the picture up here so that you can see it. We're going to turn to page 10 in your packet, and we're going to read the Iditarod. The Iditarod is a race that takes place in Alaska. People come from all over the world to compete in the Iditarod. The race is run by people who drive sleds pulled by dogs. The people who drive the dog sleds are called mushers. The course is more than 1,150 miles long. It takes a person in this race more than a week to cross the finish line. The race and the route of the Iditarod are part of Alaska's history. In the 1920s, gold mines were established far from the cities. Supplies had to be taken to the mining towns, and gold had to be brought back to the cities. Sleds and dogs were used to carry these materials back and forth. The trips were difficult and dangerous. Today, the Iditarod follows those same trails. The race starts in Anchorage, a large city. From there, the racers must travel to several checkpoints. The checkpoint locations are different every year. The course runs through icy fields, across frozen rivers, and over large mountains. The winner is the first person to cross the finish line in the city of Nome. The Iditarod is a bit different from other races. The racers may race and rest whenever they want. Some people may rest for long periods, stopping only occasionally to rest, to eat, or to sleep. Other people may stop each night and wait until day to race. The mushers may feed their dogs snacks throughout the trip, or they may give their dogs large meals once or twice a day. Mushers have various strategies for winning the race. Racers prepare all year long for the race. The people of Alaska pay close attention to the Iditarod. They come out to watch the racers pass by their homes and to cheer the people on. The winner of the Iditarod is considered a hero in Alaska. All right, so you're going to reread the passage again on your own now that you have background knowledge and have heard it one time. This is going to build your fluency, so make sure you read it, take your time. You should know the words now, etc. And then on your own piece of paper, you're going to answer the questions on page 11 and page 12. For number 5 and number 6, I want a minimum of 3 sentences each whenever you answer those questions.